time, I part of a little bit of history, and audio and video, record the board meetings, and put them on the internet for the public to be able to view what goes on. So, this is the first time, so I just wanted everybody to be aware that there are microphones here hanging to the board, camera in the back of the room. So hopefully it's successful. And we'll have the clerk call the roll.
Paul.
Here.
Anderson.
Present.
Barron.
Here.
Bill.
Present.
Kopit.
Here.
Crow.
Present.
Curtis.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Kyle.
Yes.
Crumlady.
Present.
Raymond.
Present.
Schmidt. Schultz.
Good.
Shore.
Present.
Sticknot.
Present.
Wasmer. Watt.
Here.
Whitlow.
Here.
Van Ben. Zumwalt.
Here.
Our minister for today is Reverend Bobby Schultz from the Crescent City and Donovan United Methodist Church. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be able to be asked by Jean and by the board to be here and do the prayer for you. I don't think the mic's on, Bobby. There we go. You got the first part though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday was Veterans Day, and I understand you didn't have your meeting because of that. And I was listening, I think, to the local radio, and it was saying that over 600 veterans, World War II veterans, pass away per day. That's astronomical, isn't it? So I just pay tribute, I'm sure you do too, to the veterans in the past and present. Let us pray. Loving and gracious God, you are indeed the giver of all good gifts, and we thank you today for all your blessings. Be with us in our deliberations and help us to be wise in the decisions we make for the good of all those who have placed their trust and confidence in our leadership. Give us insight to lead with integrity, that our decisions may reflect what is right and good. Keep us from short-sightedness and pettiness. Help us to make decisions that are for the good of all and guard us from blind self-interest. Dear Lord, grant us the humility to always seek your will in all that we do and say. All glory be to you, loving God, now and always, through Christ and the Holy Spirit, forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approve the agenda. So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion to approve minutes. Recess session of October 14th, 2014. Got an hand? Second, Mr. Shearer. Any questions on the minutes? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Payroll. So moved. Mr. Crowley, is there a second? Mr. Sticknot. Clerk call the roll.
Anderson.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Kopit.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Crumlady.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Watt.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Van Ben. Zumwalt.
Yes.
All.
Yes. I'm going to read you a little bit, just a brief statement here before Mr. Garrett comes and gives what was found in the files at the Public Health Department. I wish I could put into words my disgust at what I have seen and the lack of prosecution for blatant criminal acts that have cost the taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. Justice is for some, not for others. It depends on who you are, what you have, or who you know. The moral responsibility of government, officials and employees to serve the public and not their self-interest has failed. Once you hear the forensic report and see what you as taxpayers paid for, it should be a no-brainer to implement an IT policy that would ensure this conduct never happens again, and anyone caught would be terminated immediately. What you will find is there will be opposition to a policy like this, because there are similar things in other departments. One department spends quite a bit of time arranging ball games. Another department had to have an immediate fix to the internet, and what did they do when they got it? They watched a ball game. An atmosphere that condones such conduct from the leadership on down is unacceptable. What bothers me more about the evidence that I've seen, time and time again, is a reference to God by those people who perpetuated the wrongdoing. To speak of God and hold him high with one breath and steal from your fellow man with another is beyond belief. In my opinion, when you use government property for your personal gain, personal use, or benefit, you just as well have robbed an identity. I see no difference except that you steal from the shadows. Recent political ads, I'm sure you've all heard them, said 97% of Illinoisans want corruption fixed. I agree. Except we want it to be fixed somewhere else, not here, because it will affect someone we know. For those who have said nothing was wrong, hopefully your eyes will open and allow you to see what actually is going on. I'm sure there will always be some that will turn a blind eye. The taxpayers are owed a huge apology from those who supported and defended the theft of value and paid time by government employees. I doubt that many will offer their apology, so I offer my apology on their behalf to the taxpayers for the theft of your money, value, and lack of prosecution for such conduct. I'm going to ask Mr. Garrett to come up. I'm going to pass these out to the board. I'm going to let him explain.
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Andrew Garrett. I'm a computer forensic expert for Garrett Discovery. It's a corporation here in Illinois in good standing. Just to give you a background of who I am, I ran the largest computer forensics lab for the Department of Defense at Scott Air Force Base. I testified in over 100 court cases. We process on average about 200 court cases a year. I've worked for the Department of Justice, the United States Air Force, and various other corporations and law firms throughout Illinois. A little bit ago, Chairman Rodney Copus said that a few people had resigned from this county under suspicious circumstances, and he would like a forensic audit conducted on 2 computers. We took the images of those computers. Images are copies of computers, which includes every file that has been deleted, destroyed, and partially overwritten. We use highly sophisticated tools to recover this type of information, and it will tell us what somebody's done over the last, let's say, couple of years. Every Facebook posting, every click of a mouse, we can try to reconstruct. So the 4 computers of interest that we were looking at belong to Julie Clark, Carrie Hagan, Doug Corbett, and Mary Cahill. After we took these images, we examined them for internet usage for waste, fraud, and abuse, and we've examined the email for waste, fraud, and abuse additionally. We've done this type of work for our county and state government for the past about 5 years, and this is probably, I think, around the dozen or so cases we've processed for county government in the last 18 months. We use tools such as Incase and IDF. These are the same tools that law enforcement uses, Department of Justice uses, and FBI uses to process evidence. Now, to get to some of the data we found, of course, there's much more data than what we're going to report today. There's over millions and millions of records on each computer. I'm going to highlight some of the records that we found on a few of these computers to give you an idea of some of the materials that were found. All the materials are available through public information requests. If you wish to submit those or ask questions, please direct those to the chairman, and he will coordinate getting that information to you with our help. First of all, we're going to discuss Julie Clark, who my understanding is she was your public information officer, HIPAA officer, and your Open Meetings Act officer. Right around 70% of the time spent on the computer was spent organizing church functions, managing the Kiwanis Club, over 1,000 emails alone, fundraising for our Maryville, Illinois Mayor Gullidge, campaigning for this person, including emails to invites and requests for money, use of the computer to write letters to support the campaign, emails to change public health procurement policies to enable her husband to bid on work under a different shell corporation named Day and Night Solar and billed underneath a different company to the county for the work that was done. Emails that show the creation of a foundation and selection of the board members using the county health department's assets and cash. Coordination of wedding and baby showers in Southern Illinois, and I've been informed that Julie Clark lives in the East St. Louis area, over 3 hours from here. Loaned money to private entities using the county's funds to establish a new business. Recruiting staff for a church. Now to go on to Carrie Hagan. Carrie Hagan, I've been informed, is your financial coordinator and support services coordinator. Carrie Hagan used your government computer to do the following: 3,011 searches for classifieds, such as eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, all for personal matters. 1,465 searches on dating websites. 7,688 Facebook posts and comments. And over 10,000 web searches for keywords such as cars, makeup, apartments, sports, Disney, and toys. Use of the county's credit card to purchase gifts for others prior to the Christmas holiday. Now to go on to Doug Corbett, who I've been informed is your public health administrator. Doug used the government computer to do inappropriate web searching such as, I just pooped in my butthole when closed, come on boobs, and many others that we redacted from this due to the graphic nature. Hundreds of pornography files were found on the computer downloaded by Doug Corbett. Inappropriate contracting with sealed bids. Use of the computer to pay bills and manage personal life. Excessive use on sports-related websites. Emails that show the creation of a foundation and selection of board members. And the use of health department assets and cash to form that foundation. Loaned money to private entities with a promissory note to the county without communicating the information to the board. Next we have Mary Cahill. I've been informed as your home health director. Used your government computer for the following: to establish a home health business in Indiana using government funds, and I quote from one of her emails, can stay independent of the health department. Based on the evidence we reviewed on Clark, Hagan, and Corbett's computer, basically what we looked at here is real simple. These computers were rarely used, less than 30% for county business. They were used for personal business. 70%, when we did our statistics on this, about 70% or higher of these computers were used for personal business. and for personal gain. My recommendation, Garrett's Government, that you create a new IT policy that is very, very strict, that if you're using government-owned equipment for personal business, that you're terminated. And that you have an accounting review team and a forensic team, once a quarter, pick random computers to audit, and based upon their recommendations, terminate those employees that are committing waste, fraud, and abuse on the county. I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. We'll take a few quick questions from the board if there's any. I want to talk a little bit about the cost. I want to talk a little bit about the cost factor. I, as a taxpayer, don't feel that I should have to pay for certain pornography on a government computer. If you take the salaries of the people that we're talking about, the three salaries, we're talking about $250,000 in taxpayer-funded salaries with their benefits. So you spent $250,000. If they spent 20% of their time, you got robbed for $200,000. If they spent 70% of their time, you got ripped off close to $1 million. If you think this is acceptable, okay. I don't believe it in any way, shape, or form. When you convert your public assets to private gain, or use a credit card to purchase gifts for someone, that's a criminal act. You can't put it any other way. Any questions from? I'm going to ask for a motion to admit Mr. Garrett's report into the record of the county board, along with my statement for the motion from Mr.
Have you already planned to look into the computers of the health department employees that are still employed?
This was 4 to 5 computers that was hard drive images were captured. There were approximately 20 computers at the health department. We don't know what the rest of those show. If this board wants to do a full forensic accounting to understand that, you're going to have a massive amount of time involved. You're going to have some expense. There was no expense on this report to the taxpayers of this county. And I thank Mr. Garrett for his willingness to at least give us an insight to what we as taxpayers pay for. There is a very reasonable remedy, and that is to put an IT policy into place that twice a year, 4 times a year, that the forensic auditor can walk in and sample any government computer, and if you have violated the public's trust, you should be going to use it. Mr. Whitlow.
Where did the funding come from for this audit?
There was no funding.
We did this pro bono. We do a few cases a year pro bono for county and state government.
I have copies of the emails, some of those. I have copies of 31 sales, which is purse sales. I'm going to read you just briefly here. I'm going to read you a list of vendors that are on the system. No, thank you, Andrew. I'll read you the list here real quick, so you can just get a little bit of grasp. JC, now these are confirmed transactions. These are not just site visits. These are confirmed transactions. J.C. Penney, Dress Barn, Von Maur, United Airlines, Nycor Residential, Verizon Wireless, Personal Accounts, Bank of America, 31, Dick's Sporting Goods, Iroquois Federal Professional Banking, that was personal. Vera Bradley, Amazon.com, Victoria's Secret, some spotty design or something. Menard's Credit, Southwest Airlines, Orchard Bank, HSBC Bank, Finish Line, Groupon, Sears MasterCard, Girl Scout Sales, Stanley Steamer in Maryville, Illinois, GE Capital, Bath and Body Works, Restoration Hardware, Toys R Us, Sandals Resort, Furniture Row, CSCC Credit Dispute Corporation, Bill Me Later, Dish Network, Office Depot, that was personal use, not public health use, Pampered Chef, Clark Reynolds, Mexico Trips, AT&T Personal, Liquor Mania, we actually had liquor bought and shipped into the health department, Star Power in Indiana. That's what goes on with your tax dollars. I want to bring out one more point, and then I'm done. This was an article presented in Bob Beamer's here. I'm going to quote you out of Bob Beamer's article. Julie Clark said Tuesday she had nothing to do with the solar panel project except to advertise for the bids for which request. I have nothing to do with any of the decisions. I have nothing to do with the finances. The contract was awarded by the Board of Health vote. Every email that regarded the solar panels and its illegal purchase has Julie Clark and Sam Clark's name on it. Julie Clark said in that newspaper article she had nothing to do with the financing. We have the emails. She was the one that engineered the financing with the Sumner National Bank. She was the one that engineered an offer from the PNC Bank in Maryville, Illinois to loan money for the same project. Here's the email from Julie Clark to Stan Clark, subject, procurement policy. Yes, Carrie and I discussed this earlier this morning. We are going to change the policy to read so we do not have to get sealed bids. These folks intentionally scam the taxpayers of Iroquois County. And the question is, are they going to be held accountable? They use their position in every way. The evidence is overwhelming. A blind man can see this. Hopefully someone will step up and do their job. Okay. Public comment. Doc. One second. Doc's going to come up first. Come on up. Go ahead.
You were going to do it.
I'm sorry. Hang on. We did a motion. I'm sorry. I asked a second, Doc. I apologize. I asked for a motion to admit this into the record, along with my comments. Mr. Alt and Mr. Haynes. Clerk, call the roll.
Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Coben.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yeah.
Hiles.
Yes.
Crumley.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Kidnot.
Yes.
Watt.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Win-Ben. Newmall.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Anderson.
Okay, Doc, come on up. I apologize. Thank you.
Chairman, members of the County Board and District. What I have to say may seem minor to what you just heard. I'm Dr. Al Day. I'm a Navy veteran. I'm a citizen of Iroquois County. I'm a member of Watsika American Legion Post 23, and the American Legion is known for its protection of our flag, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. I am really appalled by the way our flag is handled by the people that work for this county. 6 weeks, it doesn't even show. It flies at night without lights. On days with a light rain, it's not up. I called the sheriff's department and they said, oh, it came from the weather. Well, let me tell you, the flag code says if you're using an all-weather flag, you can fly it using from the weather. The flag code also says our flag, and I'm talking not our flag, and it's all your flag as well as mine, shall be flown over every government building daily. And it doesn't say at the whim of who's putting it up. It says daily. Now, I'm going to make some suggestions because I'm really upset about this. I happen to be a lineal descendant of 4 men who fought in the Revolutionary War. So I go back a long way in this country. And on Office and Solutions, All it would take to fly a flag for 24 hours behind this building is a $30 solar light. Surely you can afford that. I think from in front of the courthouse, if you plug in, wire into the 2 lights that burn all night, put a spotlight on it, you can shine it on the flag, I don't think that's going to cost very much. But at least we're going to honor our flag that way. And I think what I'd really like to see is a flagpole put out here with a lighting flag. You can buy a telescoping flag for about $219. You might extend it up to 40 feet, I believe. Put a solar light on the bottom of it, put a flag on it, and it'll fly 2 flags, you're set. And ladies and gentlemen, please do this. Honor our flag. Yesterday we honored the people that served this country. On Memorial Day, we honor the people who were killed in action or who died serving this country. Let's honor everybody. Let's honor our flag and fly it as it's supposed to be. Thank you. I have one for Sheriff Hagan, and maybe he can get it.
Yeah, that's all right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Doc. Doc, if you arrange the flagpole out here, I'll pay for it.
Okay, I can order you. I'm going to be
Order
leaving, but I can order
what you want, and I'll write you a check.
Okay, then you put a solar light on.
You bet. You get the solar light too, and I'll pay for it. Thank you.
There's one for you, but
Barb? One second.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Barb Oswald, and I'm a resident and taxpayer from Douglas 1 in Iroquois County. I'm also precinct committeeman for the Republican Party, and I'm also Iroquois County Tea Party coordinator. I'd like to take this time to give homage to Rod Kovic and those county board members that followed his leadership. Since being an Iroquois County taxpayer, I would like to show my respect and appreciation for all your hard work in saving the taxpayers of this fine county money and for stopping the unnecessary overspending. I'd also like to thank you for bringing our county out of a negative balance and into a positive. By your due diligence and perseverance, the county taxpayers have saved thousands of dollars from the Iroquois County Health Department and the Board Health Department to split off from each other. It took great courage to uncover the corruption that was within that department, and you took a lot of abuse and condemnation for it. However, for those who are your supporters, we knew why you exposed it, and we sincerely thank you for it.
Thank you.
It is my prayer and hope that the new Iroquois County Board will continue to follow your example and to do what is right and good for the people of Iroquois County. That their decisions will be made with the people of Iroquois County's best interest and not their own. And now as I get ready to end my words, it gives me great pleasure to have given you, Rod, and those who followed your leadership, my support. God bless you all. And I have one question for our state attorney. What will be done with the corruption that we found out? This board went through a lot, the people, the taxpayers went through a lot, and we don't want it just forgotten. We want something done. Thank you.
Russ Bills?
good morning, folks. I'm Russell Bills, for those who don't know me. Been a county board member for a long time. Too long, I'm sure, for some of the folks in my life. Since I've been a county board member for well over 20 years, been here a quarter of a century, I've seen a lot of boards, dealt with a lot of board members, and a lot of board chairmen. Over the past, I started with Russ Rosenblum, Dale Whittle, Shane Coulter, Ronnie Freer, and now most recent, Mr. Rod Copeland. And things will change here in the next few weeks because we have a new chairman, Al Hadley, coming in. And what I wanted to make a note of is in the past, I never have seen a chairman act like this. He's and not to fault any of the past chairmen because they all tried. But Mr. Copeland, his team is never tired working to improve and maintain our county essential services, while at the same time controlling the financial burden for today, tomorrow, and the years down the road. Mr. Copeland, you have totally amazing with your investment of time and energy that you have put towards your job to bring county residents prompt, courteous, efficient county government. And with that in mind, I would like to say from a board member, thank you as a resident and taxpayer. Thank you very much. Thank you, Russ.
Public comment?
Good morning. My name is Kirk Allen. Many of you have seen me here before. I'm going to read a brief presentation. I beg everybody to listen. March of next year will mark the 2-year anniversary of my first presentation to this county board. During that initial presentation, I outlined who the Edgar County Watchdogs were, what we do, and cautioned you that how you deal with the matters that we expose are in fact an indicator of the health of our society. Sadly, as is evident from today's report, the health of the society in this county appears to be tracking on that of an Ebola patient. The virus thrives and will not be stopped without direct action. The good news is there is hope for that sickness, but only with immediate and distinct action. I understand the anger or resentment many of you have expressed regarding our work and public exposure of the information. It's an embarrassment to your community, and it's easier to blame the messenger than accept the message. We've exposed every single criminal act outlined in the financial audit done by a firm that should have caught those very crimes when they were handling the books for the health department. They charged the taxpayers of this county over $50,000 for their opinion that proved crimes were committed. We charged nothing for the work that we exposed. We uncovered collusion to commit crimes, self-dealings, fraud, official misconduct, as well as outright deceptive practices by public employees who many of you continue to defend, which we now see today has been validated by yet another professional forensic audit. Anyone who defends the actions of these criminals should realize your defense is the sickness, in fact, is the root of the sickness facing our nation as a whole. Our laws were designed to establish boundaries, boundaries to limit what our government can do, boundaries that have consequences when breached. You people stood here this morning and placed your hand over your heart and you said the Pledge of Allegiance. I beg of you to stop defacing our great flag and nation with such hypocrisy. As a veteran, I'm saddened by your actions. We have our men and women being killed on battlefields, wounded to the point of being unrecognizable in some cases, only to return to a country where people stand before a flag in a public meeting and go through the motion of reciting the Pledge of Allegiance without any commitment to the words or understanding of the sacrifice being made by others in defense of the security of our republic. Of those words in our pledge, justice for all should resonate with each and every one of you. It's the last 3 words, and I would argue the most important to be applied, otherwise the rest is meaningless. There is no liberty when justice is not applied. The country is divisible without justice. A country without justice applied is not a nation under God. When the people understand the importance of applying justice to those that violate our laws, we will start to heal as a community and a nation. Our justice system is the tool that is supposed to be the checks and balances for us to turn to. We rely on the application of our laws to ensure the future of a healthy society. There once was a day when your word was your bond. Each and every one of you took an oath of office and gave your word to uphold the laws of this state and our nation. Also in that oath, as outlined in Article 13, Section 3 of our state constitution, you gave your word will faithfully discharge the duties of your office. I reference 55 ILCS from the County Code, Powers and Duties of State's Attorney. The duty of each state's attorney shall be, number 1, to commence and prosecute all actions, suits, indictments, and prosecutions, civil and criminal, in the circuit court of this county in which the people of the state or county may be concerned. Mr. Devine, I have pleaded with you to prosecute the crimes committed by these people. To date, you've not charged a single person involved in the crimes against the people. I contend refusal to prosecute these violations is a breach of office and may well constitute official misconduct. To the County Board, item number 3 under that same statute, to commence and prosecute all actions and proceedings brought by any county officer in his official capacity. This County Board needs to stand up for justice and bring this matter to a vote that outlines the County Board is bringing these criminal acts to the state's attorney for him to prosecute. Staying silent on this matter indicates to the people you support these criminals and confirm there is no justice for all. We the people deserve justice when people steal from us, whether in the public sector or the private sector. Be the beacon of hope to the state and do the right thing. Set a positive example for others to follow and hold these criminals accountable. Thank you.
Other comments? Jeff Whipple?
Good morning. First, I'll start off on the positive. Mr. Copas has done some good things for the county. We haven't always saw eye to eye on everything, but he did some positive things also. So first, let me say that. One of the things, I'll make this as brief as possible. One of the things starting a long time ago with the wind farm issues. I was pro-wind farm. I listened to other people, and I still believe in them, but you know, some of the regulations we imposed I think were probably necessary. I tried to listen with an open mind, and I voted several times, like setback issues and things like that, but I got to understand that, yeah, maybe we do need that. So I tried to keep an open mind on things. A few people didn't like didn't care for the way our ESDR coordinator was performing duties, so I guess his job got reposted basically, and a few things changed in the job description. Got another person in there now that I'm sure is very capable, but probably didn't have near the training that the one we used to have in here, as far as especially with weather-related issues. That's water over the bridge at this point. So now we're at the point where we've got issues with ETSB. That's the emergency telephone system that we got in place in the county. Last month, I believe we pretty much decided, the board decided, was not my intention that we should reduce it down to 6 members from 12, because I felt we got quite a diverse people that are on there that know what they're talking about to move forward. But I guess that's pretty much a done thing also. I read in the paper that 3 of our board members have been assigned to interview for a new dispatch coordinator. I find this disturbing. I think ETSB should run dispatch, personally, and I think we've got a very good system in place right now. And we're widely respected by the county fire departments, sheriff department, law enforcement, emergency responders, well respected. And everybody respects the coordinator also, Nida Dugal. Most people respect her very, think she's done an excellent job. She's had various awards to try to recognize what she's done for the county. And we've got one of the smoothest running dispatches you could ask for. You can go to other counties if you don't believe that. Question some other people. We got something that runs pretty darn nice. Financial problems? Yeah, we got them, so does everybody else. It's all started, I guess, with us when, everybody knows you don't get as much money for cell phones as you do when we had all landlines. More and more cell phones all the time. That reduces the money coming in. Also, ESB did furnish a third of the money for salaries and stuff for a long period of time. There's a lot of money right there. I guess we don't have to pay back, ESB doesn't have to pay that back to the county board or anything like that. Or I mean, the other way around, excuse me. County would pay that back to ESB. That's not going to happen. A lot of money was there too. Otherwise it would be in their coffers. I don't know why we're even considering doing anything different on this, unless somebody's got knowledge that I don't have. I was disappointed that other board members here didn't come up and ask me about it. They were on the liaison, asked me questions about how it runs. I tried to encourage people to come to the meetings. Very little response. There's a lot to it. It's not just people sitting in that room over there talking on the radio. You got coordination you would not believe. I'd be more than willing to take any board member here on a little tour, show you all the equipment, what it entails, the call boxes, everything. There's so much involved. So we got trained people doing this stuff. So I am disappointed. I'm also disappointed that I am one of the four that have not, there's 4 vacancies basically, that people have not been reappointed or appointed to these positions. Chairman appointed some, they haven't been appointed. We stayed on there because there's been nobody appointed. So I read in the paper that our votes shouldn't count. That kind of disturbed me very much. So let's don't mess up a good thing. If you got questions, I assure you I've got the knowledge when it comes to this. I have not been asked by anyone. Thank you.
Mr. Hanson. I just want to remind this board, we didn't do this, 911 or VSTB or anything. They did. This was their decision to do away with the third of the intergovernmental agreement. I went to meetings, they wouldn't even talk to us. So don't blame this board. This has always been accountability. We said we'd match, we'd come up with money, we did. We have to have the accountability. It's not our choice, it was theirs. Public comments? Seeing none, we're going to move to Chairman's comments. I'll make them real brief. I had a call yesterday, or the day before yesterday, Monday, from an outside agency that's looking at the statewide 911 system. I'm going to get a discussion a little bit. The comment to me was, Iroquois County is a great example of what not to do. Because it's so convoluted. We have 2 different groups. A year and a half ago, I suggested that we were under 911 and put dispatch there. That was not even remotely considered at that time. Now, since then, again, I've explained this to the sheriff a couple times, the large problem that we have now is the dispatchers voted to go union. So now you have, and I don't know if you read the headlines, last week, Mrs. Dugal told us in the Secret Times that Bob Harwood, the mayor of the city, Nida Dugal, a 911 employee, and the sheriff are negotiating a union contract for 9 dispatchers that are county employees. There is no notification to the county of a union in any way, shape, or form. We do not have one notice from anyone. Who's going to pay the bill for those employees? I can tell you who's going to pay the bill. Iroquois County taxpayer. And it's going to come through the county board. The county board has filed a complaint with the Labor Relations Board in Springfield because we were not given notice. We were listed as a co-employer, but yet they negotiated and never told the county board a thing about it. The last PNP meeting, the sheriff and I sat in this room and the subject came up. They never spoke and told anything about a negotiation session. She told the newspaper after. I asked Mr. Whitlow about it at that meeting. He said he didn't know anything about it. So I'm not sure who's telling what, but I can tell you this. You've got a couple-year window to get this problem fixed. At the end of the 2 years, the county taxpayers, if nothing has changed, are going to incur an additional $170,000 a year in expense. I don't know if you've watched the finances of the county and looked at the budget year to year to year. Go back and look at the 10-year cycle and look at how much your revenue increases and look at where that money goes. Our current union contracts over the 3-year window will add about $235,000 every year thereafter to the bottom line. Now go back and look at your revenue year after year after year after year. So it doesn't change much. So the way you have to fix it is you have to be more, I guess I'm not finding the word I want. You have to do a better job with less. That's what you have to do in order to survive. Because the revenue doesn't keep up with your cost increases. Are they reasonable cost increases? Most of them are. Are they justifiable? Most of them are. The 911 board and the ICON board, while they're going broke, in a 2-year window, passed out over 10% pay raises to some folks. Very much documented proof. If you're going broke, when the county was going through all that, we didn't pass out pay raises. We got ourselves turned around, and if you'll notice, we have passed out some pay raises in the last year or two because we have started to turn the county around. You can't be so one-sided that change is unacceptable. Change is going to come. It's going to be forced one way or the other because it's inevitable. And to do it in a fiscally responsible manner is the essential thing. Don't protect one person. That's not what this is about. You're not serving the taxpayer. And my other comment is, if one person, no matter who it is, leaves anti-government service, any, and that system fails, then no one was doing their job. Outside committees is running today. Kim Verity, please. Again, I want to give, while he's walking up here, I want to give my kudos to Kim and Roger Dietrich. The residents of this county cannot appreciate the amount of time that they spend working for you to try to bring some positive growth development. I had met with them, I hate to think of how many times, but from me to you and Roger and to the Ida board, I appreciate your efforts. They're immensely appreciated. That was a learning curve for me. I have to say, going back, a few years back when we was in financial trouble, that was one of the first things I said, we need to cut those guys. I did it. I admit it. But I will tell you, and we've survived that, and they survived that, but they do a tremendous job for all the residents of this county.
Thanks, Roger. You were after us there a long time.
I remember that.
Very much so. Excuse me, I'll pass that on to Roger. He was here earlier, but he had a commitment. And I'd like to thank Rod, too, since we're giving some kudos here.
Our communication and cooperation with the county board is just night and day different than it was years back. So I'm hoping here in the near future and from then on that communication and cooperation will continue, because it's not a one-man show or one team show. It's everybody in the county pulling together to get us where we want to go. You got a lot on your plate already today, so I'm just going to speak about one subject. And I already talked about this policy and procedures, so if you folks have already heard it there, I'm going to zone out a little bit. That'll be okay. It won't hurt my feelings. But it's revolving loan fund. I think everyone knows, by the way, since Rod mentioned my name, I didn't make a proper introduction. I'm Ken Berger. I'm Executive Director for the Iroquois Economic Development Association. We're not a county committee. We're a nonprofit. But we are partly financed by the county board. The revolving loan, the Lion loan out here, I think everybody knows by now that the state level CEO refused to allow us to make that loan to Lion. We're offering them a loan of $350,000 from our revolving loan funds. Let me just give you a real quick timeline. It goes way back about a year and a half ago when Pride and Metal was in financial trouble. We were scrambling every day trying to come up with something from the state, from wherever, so we helped save them. We finally got a call from Josh Harms when we were actually sitting in the parking lot up in Chicago, that he finally got something put together. We hung up from that one, called the owners of Pride Metal, and he said, too late, we filed bankruptcy an hour ago. So we were crushed naturally by that, a long-term employer in Watsika. The company went to a bankruptcy auction, and Mr. Roger Dietrich, Roger went to that auction. We were fortunate that Roger was able to partner with some other guys that were there, good people, and they bought that company out of bankruptcy, and we were elated to know that the plant was going to still be there. Then we started hearing a lot of rumors that they were going to, not rumors, facts, that they were going to have to cut the overhead, get rid of some of the costs, keep that company in business. So our elation turned to nervousness over whether we were going to get to keep our plant or whether it was going to be one of the ones that closed. When we found out, I think you might have been in the office that day, Rod, when we found out that they had decided to close the plant in Paris, Illinois, and keep the plant in Watsika open. And once again, we were elated with the thing. Well, as we worked with those new owners, we came up with an offer of a revolving loan for them. And the city of Watsika was also going to make a revolving loan to them. The consultant for the city of Watsika refused to make that application, and she and I had a long-winded talk on the phone, and she had taken the position that we couldn't use the money to move jobs. They call it job hiring. We couldn't move the jobs from one part of the state to another using revolving loan funds. After that, I called down to Springfield, and I called to speak to Rick Turner, whose name is in our handbook on revolving loan fund direction, Bible. He was gone on medical leave, so I spoke to a gentleman named Dave Gobin. And Dave and I had talked for quite a while, and we worked out a scenario and I guess a verbal agreement that it would be acceptable. The federal government rules, I should have brought that so I could read it to you, but basically what it says is that if you're moving more than 0.1% of the workforce in a certain area, that you cannot do that with revolving loan funds. In the discussion with Dave, he said there's also an exception to that, that if it's more than 500 jobs, that percentage no longer is considered. If it's less than 25 jobs, that percentage is no longer considered. So Dave and I worked out, nice guys, worked out a pretty, what I thought was reasonable approach to it, and we followed through on that. We've got a committee. It's made up of two revolving loan committee that's outside of the county committee. It's made up of 2 bankers, a finance director, state's attorney, and a city mayor. Everything was presented to them. Lyon was forthcoming with everything, and we made a decision to, the committee did it. I'm not on the committee, but I helped present the information to them. The committee made a decision to approve the loan. I presented that to the finance committee. The finance committee voted on it, and everybody was happy. During that meeting, if you remember, Mindy, they had asked for a change to what we had originally approved, and that was they wanted to pay interest only for 1 year. So we thought that was worth a call to Springfield to make sure that that was within the rules. Mindy did that. And I was going to make the call. Mindy actually ended up talking to Rick Turner and mentioned that. And it's fair to say Rick exploded. Mindy, he came unglued. Man, how come nobody's ever talked to me? And got all over Mindy, which was unfair. So I called him back that same day. And as he started to climb my train, I said, well, wait a minute, Rick. I tried to call you. You were gone on medical leave. So I talked to Dave Gobin. You know who Dave Gobin is? I said, yes, I do. He's my boss. I said, check with Dave. I talked to him. We had an arrangement. Well, I guess cut the story down short. I got a phone call followed up by an official letter that said that it had been turned down. We could not make that loan. So I called Rick Turner and I said, we disagree with the decision and we would like to appeal it. He told me there is no appeal process, my word's final. Here we've had probably 60 people involved and a company that spent a lot of time putting together financial information and on and on. It's hard to imagine how many hours we put into that, but one guy in Springfield, his word was final. Well, we didn't like that, so we pursued it through, I guess Josh had already decided not to run for re-election, so we went through Jason Barrisman's office and Adam Kirchner's office. And they came back to us. I think they actually came from Jason's office, but we should talk to a Frankie Atwater. Frankie Atwater is the head of community development in Springfield. So I did that, and we had a very nice chat. He was on board. He was very agreeable, and I guess he set up our first conference call at that time. And during that conference call, he told us that it was a federal decision, so their federal contact had to be satisfied, and he would get back to me with what I needed to put into a letter so that we could get their approval. Never got back to me. I got back to him. So I got letters from, he eventually asked for letters from various groups, one of which being the city of Waseca, and I called him back and said the city of Waseca is not involved. It's the county level loan. Well, he was adamant that he had to have a letter from the city of Waseca, and the mayor of Waseca was adamant that he didn't have to write a letter because the city wasn't loaning the bank. Bob Harwood did graciously write a letter for us. He was very clear in it of what he thought of the situation. They never asked for a letter from the county, but Rod took the time to write a letter from the county. And we sent that in expecting an immediate approval. That was what they asked for. 10 days went by. This was like about probably 3 or 4 months into the process while Lyon waited for these funds. So they closed some things. About 10 days went by. We got upset with it again. I spoke to Patrick Doggett in Adam Kinzinger's office. And next thing we got a phone call. They wanted to put together another conference call so that we could discuss this matter and get this taken care of. All right. Rod and I sat on the conference call on a Friday. Frankie Atwater was on the call. Dave Gobin was on the call. I forgot to mention one thing. During the middle of this process, Mindy got an email that informed us that Rick Turner was no longer in charge of the revolving loan fund, and that Dave Gobin was our contact. So Frankie Atwater, Dave Gobin from Springfield were on this call. Patrick Doggett was, Patrick is a field rep, I believe, for the district, headquartered in Waseca, but for a district for Adam Kinzinger here in the state. Also on the call with Joshua Baggett, he's the legislative director for Congressman Kinzinger out of the Washington office. And Rod and myself, we were on this phone call expecting to get our approval and we could move forward with this. When Rod and I made that call and they had their feet dug in and they continued to read this same paragraph that we had been negotiating over for, it seemed like months, at least it was weeks, and they gave us an official no, did not make that loan. Well, we argued with them with all this had gone on and everything that we had tried and all the people that had been involved, what would happen if we had made this loan and no one had ever brought that up. They said, you'd have to pay the money back. We can't loan money to a company that goes out in good faith, borrows the money, goes out in good faith, spends it, and tries to bring some jobs to our area and then go back later and say, well, sorry, they decided that they didn't think we did it right, so you got to give the money back. So no, we wouldn't go after that money back. The county would have to give it back. Now, I, in my position, am asking me to oversee the revolving loan fund, and our committee will not do that. How can we put the county board at that kind of risk that, as Dave said, well, we'll see on page 2 or 3 there whether the loan has been properly made, and ask the county board to take that commitment and loan $5 or $10 or $50 or $150,000 that they could arbitrarily decide there was some minuscule ruling, one line or one paragraph that says that nope, you didn't do it right, so you got to pay the money back. So we thought possibly about sending it back to them, saying we don't need it. We'll just send them to Springfield if they need the money. However, in further discussions, we got $500,000 laying there. We come to the table to negotiate to try to bring companies to Iroquois County so that we can get some more employment, which we sorely need, and we have very little to offer. The revolving loan fund is one thing we do have to offer, and we do have close to, I think, Mindy, we're close to $500,000, aren't we, in what's in the fund right now. So I don't want to just send that back and say, well, we don't need it, but I think we need to start a conversation with the Finance Committee and the Revolving Loan Committee and pursue this. It shouldn't be my decision. We all need to talk about it. But my position on it would be that in the future, every loan that we make, we do not make without getting a letter of approval from DCEO. And God knows how much time that'll add to the process. And most of these companies are in desperate need of getting some funding. But as you can tell, I'm quite disgusted with the whole situation. But it's something that we probably need to keep going. We need to get some discussions going on how we're going to handle it. And I think we need something in writing from them, because if they can arbitrarily tell us no, one person from Springfield, after, like I said, 50 to 60 people, can spend a lot of time that they don't particularly get paid for to make a decision, and one person will say, no, we don't think that, send the money back. I can't put the county in that position. I don't think the committee, the revolving loan fund committee, can put the county in that, nor could the finance committee want to put the county in that position. So I'd like to pursue the program, but I think we need to start a conversation on how we are going to approach the loans in the future so that the county's not put at risk, but we can still utilize that money as a carrot to try to help bring some jobs to the town. Yes, that's right. We wanted them to send a letter in writing that explains their position in its entirety. I got a call from Josh to ask if I had gotten that letter. I told him no, haven't heard another word from him since the turn down on the phone that day. And this has been, I think it's been about 2 weeks ago, and Josh said, well, we'll get that in writing by the end of the week. A couple weeks later, I'm not sure. The end of which week, I'm not sure. Thank you.
Thanks again very much. Any other outside comments? Okay, this is the policy and procedure. Mr. Chairman, your committee has referred policy and procedure with Fed leave to submit the following reporting matters before you. Your committee met at the administrative center on November 6th, 3/14 at 10:10 a.m.
Present for Copas, Anderson, Hanson, Bill, Sticknall, Curtis, and Schultz. As you know, County Sheriff and Sheriff County were absent. Finance Director, Inspecting Treasurer, Mr. Higgins, Supervisor Assessments, Bob Yergler, Sheriff Eric Hagan, County Engineer Bill Moore, County Clerk Police Council, Corner Cheatham, IC, PhD, Administrator, Shepherd, Probation Director, Tom Lake, and 911 Director, Google Assistant, Sandy, Greg, Ida, Kim Verity, County Board Members, all Pro, Piles, Films, Password. Will Brumley be a Pat Sergeant, Earl Hollis, the time for public meetings called to order, during public comments. Sheriff Hagan addressed the committee regarding the direction of dispatch. He said he was asked to run the department, but was too busy with his schedule, does not allow him time to do so. Hagan strongly urges the board to look at putting dispatch into the 911 board. There is currently a proposal for the dispatch coordinator, which the county will be financially responsible for. At this time, ETSB pays the wages of the dispatch coordinator. In Hagan's opinion, our current coordinator does a fantastic job and receives some state recognition for her work. County Board Chairman Copas reported forensics auditors will be attending the County Board next week to release the findings. This information will be released to the public and will not be held under executive session. The committee chair received the reports. Highway Chairman Les Bills said the Highway Committee will be open bids for the purchase of 2015 tandem chassis. We will reconvene at the Administrative Center with the Planning and Zoning Committee to discuss issues with wind farm. Management Chair Kyle Anderson opened snow removal bid and selected a vendor. Also, interviews for the maintenance supervisor position have taken place. Judicial Vice Chairman Aaron Curtis reported that he received normal reports. Tax Chairman Dale Schultz said his committee received their normal reports and discussed the 2015 levy. There were questions on public health levy dollars not during the meeting. Schultz suggested Shearer and ICBH Administrator Shepherd speak to Chairman Copas regarding the concerns if no other changes need to be made. The levy will be finalized next night. Planning and Zoning Chairman Marvin Sticknott will continue to review. Planning and Zoning Vice Chairman Marvin Sticknott will continue to review subdivision ordinance for this committee. Zoning will also meet with the Highway Committee to discuss the wind farms. Copas reminded the committee that he suggested moving dispatch under 911 board a year and a half ago. Recently, the dispatchers voted to do a union and did not notify the county. The objection is sensitive, and the county is awaiting a response. Copas asked Jim Devine, the state attorney, for an update on the going forward. Devine said he needs outside legal counsel, and then no funds are available in his budget for this. Devine reported the county code book has been revised and submitted in electronic copies will be sent out. The dispatch contract was emailed to all the county board members for the review. That's the committee for the questions regarding the contract. With no questions, it's moved by Sticknott and second by Anderson to approve and proceed with mailing the contracts except the city of Seeker. Roll call vote, Staken, Anderson A. Hampton A. Bill A. Sticknott A. Curtis A. Schultz A. Curtis A. Dispatch coordinator position has been posted. Copas stressed the hiring of this position needs to happen before December 1st. And suggested forming a subcommittee to handle the interview process and hire for this position. Moved by Curtis, second by Bill to authorize Kyle Anderson, Kevin Hanson, and Marvin Sticknott to proceed with the interviewing and hiring of the dispatch coordinator. Roll call vote taken. Anderson A. Hanson A. Bill A. Sticknott A. Curtis A. Schultz no. Copas A. FSA renovations and air conditioning. Copas said the IT switchover and painting of door frames is all that remains. All ADA signage is complete. Committee reviewed the claims that moved by Anderson, seconded by Curtis, to pay the bill subject to county board approval. Roll call vote taken, motion carried. Under all business, Copas read an Attorney General's opinion to the committee that we also provided a copy. The opinion referred to whether a county board has authority to approve or disapprove the budget of a department of county government who has separate appointed boards that separately approve their budgets and then present them to the county board. Audit Director Kim Verity gave an update on the revolving loan. He believes the county should look into whether or not to continue the program. Verity would like to discuss this more in detail with the advisory. Video and audio visual equipment has been delivered. That was the original estimate. The cost $3,000 has ended up only costing $1,500. Copas said the equipment will be installed and ready for next week's county board meeting. County Clerk Police Financial had about 2015 meeting calendars. It was moved by Anderson to approve, seconded by Girls, and motion carried by Lois Road. It was moved by Schultz, seconded by Curtis to adjourn at 11:10. Motion carried. Signed. By the President. We have a motion to accept this report. Mr. Anderson, we have a second. Mr. Curtis, questions? Call the roll.
Bill.
Yes.
Hovis.
Yes.
Crow.
No.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Isles.
No.
Crumweedy.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
No.
Shore.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Watt.
Yes.
Whitlow.
No.
Win-Benz. Newmall.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Anderson. Barron.
Yes. Mr. Hanson, Finance.
Mr. Chairman, members of the County Board, your committee to whom referred Finance to beg leave to submit the following report on matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on November 6, 2014, 9 a.m. Members present were Kevin Hanson, Kyle Anderson, Charlie Alt, Russell Bill, Bernie Curtis, Rex Smith, and Susan Wynn-Benz. Also present, Finance Director Anita Speckman, County Board Chairman Rod Copus, Treasurer Mindy Coons-Hagan, Probation Director Tom Layton, State Attorney Jim Devine, County Engineer Joel Moore, Supervisor of Assessment Bob Yeardler, Iroquois County Public Health Department D. Shepard, Derek Hagan, 911 Director Nida Dugal, County Clerk and Reporter Lisa Fancher, County Board members Donna Crow, Gene Hiles, Dale Schultz, Marvin Stignott, Susie Werner from Homestar Insurance Services, Randy Schultz Insurance, Will Brumley of the Tax and Record, and Carl Waters of the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. There were no public comment. Susie Werner of Homestar Insurance reported to the committee that November is open enrollment month for health and dental, and open enrollment meeting date has been set for Wednesday, November 19th. Finance Director Anita Speckman informed the committee that employees voted to stay with the current dental plan at a 16% premium increase for FY 20. The benefit is 100% paid by the employees. Randy also showed insurance is working on rolling the ESCD coverage onto the county plan. The department heads gave their monthly reports. They are as follows. Mindy Coons-Hagan distributed a copy of the letter received from the Department of Revenue stating that $21,974.08 in local sales tax receipts were erroneously paid to the Iroquois County. The letter stated due to confidentiality, they are unable to disclose additional information. Beginning in December 2014, monthly installments will be deducted from our sales tax distribution. Mindy Coons-Hagan reported the tax sale was held on October 27th, went well, and the numbers were down from last year. Coons-Hagan suggested to the committee that the monies received from the wind tower should be set aside in a money market or certificate of deposit rather than leaving it in the general fund. Supervisor of Assessment Bob Yeardler said that the last day to file complaints with the Board of Review is November 7th. Yeardler said he has received 2 inquiries thus far. Iroquois County Public Health Department D. Shepard reports our department has received a grant award for every grant that it applied for. The amended environmental fee schedule was discussed. The closed loop well permit, closed loop well inspection fees have been added as mandated by the state. These additions were approved by Health Department, Board of Health, and the Health Committee. It was moved by Charlie Alt and seconded by Ernie Curtis to approve the additional fees for the closed loop well permits and closed loop well inspection. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. Speckman reviewed the budget shortfalls / overages as of October with the committee. This includes any line item adjustments within 2 departments as requested by department heads. Speckman said there were
There is also a need to make a transfer to cover the group health shortfall. The line item is budgeted at $70,000 and we're already at $108,000. Speckman suggested increasing the transfer from the general fund to the group health to cover this shortfall. It was moved by Russell Bills and seconded by Kyle Anderson to transfer $50,000 from the general fund of the department to group insurance fund. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. It was moved by Susan Wynn Benson and seconded by Bills to approve the budget shortfalls and overages as proposed by Finance Director Anita Speckman and outlined in a schedule that was distributed to each committee member. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. Just prior to the finance meeting, Speckman received verbal requests from the Historical Society in the amount of $13,500. This is an annual transfer from the Circuit Court's Automation Fund. She explained this claim is not listed on the claim sheet, but will be with the monthly claims listing for the county board meeting. It was moved by Bills and seconded by Schmidt to approve the claim for the Historical Society. Roll call vote was taken. Anderson, aye. Holt, aye. Bills, aye. Curtis, aye. Schmidt, aye. Wynn-Benz abstained. Hanson, aye. Motion carried. Committee reviewed the claim. It was moved by Susan Wynn-Benz and seconded by Charlie Alt to pay the bills subject to county board approval. Roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Alt and seconded by Wynn-Benz to adjourn at 9:43 a.m. Motion carried by voice vote. All which is respectively submitted, and I move for its adoption.
Before I ask for questions, I forgot, there's a really poor ranger with his lights on. That's something that's okay. Questions on finance?
I just have a correction. The transfer from surplus to automation fund, it should be documented for it.
Absolutely wrong. Okay, thanks. Any other questions?
Just a clarification on the complaint there. It said only got 2 inquiries, that's a little misleading. There's been numerous individual complaints filed on the board review up to this point. I commented that there haven't been any large inquiries that require me to notify taxing bodies as of today, and mail's not in yet today, so.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Let's call the roll. Abstain on that, I suppose we vote for the remainder of the report.
Copeland.
Yes.
Crowe. Yes. Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Childs.
Yes.
Cromie.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Schuer.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Watt.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Wynn-Benz. Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Anderson. Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
I just wanted to say thank you to Rod for the 2 years of service. People don't realize he worked 35, 40 hours a week here, and he did accomplish a lot. I know it's not appreciated by some, but it was quite a run. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson.
Before we start this report, I would like to ask the county clerk to reflect a no vote from myself on policy and procedure committee report. No?
Mr. Devine, can I change your vote?
Yes, you can change your vote.
She can choose.
Change your vote.
Mr. Chairman, members of the county board, or committee to whom is referred management services will beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Committee met at the Administrative Center on November 3rd, 2014 at 9 a.m. Members present: Anderson, Barron, Strode, and Scher. Watson, Malt, Raymond, Rafford. Also present: Finance Director Anita Speckman, Maintenance Supervisor Larry Pankey, ICPHC Administrator D. Shipper, and County Board members Gene Hiles and Dale Schultz. Meeting was called order. There were no public comments. Management Chairman Anderson opened the 2 bids received for snow removal. They are as follows: Hall repairs $9,500 for snow removal for the season. and salt spreading at 45 cents per pound. Commence lawn care and snow removal, a 1-year term, $7,475 at the administrative center, $17,204 at jail. And salt spreading 55 cents per pound. Ultimate bid was provided for $78 an hour. Moved by John Sherman, second by Lyle Barnes, to accept the Hall's Repairs snow removal bid of $9,500 for the season and salt spreading at 45 cents per pound. Cost splitting between the administrative center and courthouse jail to be determined. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. Anderson gave an update on the county farm waterway and soil water. We're taking a look at the issues. Don Crow also reminded Anderson to look for the tiling maps in the clerk's office. Finance Director Anita Speckman reported the FSA renovations are almost complete. Our door frames to be painted and the IT room needs to be moved. We began paying rent at the new rate in October. Maintenance Supervisor Larry Pank reported on the following. Last month, several leaks were found in the boiler. Pank said that it is regulated now and has been running on a regular basis. Interviews were held last week for the maintenance supervisor position. Anderson said those that applied were well qualified and hopes to have a decision soon. Speckman discussed the boiler grant that the county submitted approximately 2 years ago. $75,000 grant, which includes $5,000 for engineering, is to replace the boiler in the administrative center. The grant date from October 1st, 2014 through September 30th, 2015. Vendors were called by County Board Chairman Copas and Speckman. One vendor appeared on site and is drawing up specifications and requests for proposals to submit for the boiler grant. A letter was received from East Central Illinois Community Action Agency regarding loose paint chips in the playground area that had started. They are requesting the paint be removed from the areas stated in this letter. Hankton stated we have paint on hand to touch up the areas. They also stated that children will be in the playground for a while due to the weather and suggested sending a letter recognizing their concern and tell them we will resolve the issue in the spring. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Sure and seconded by Barron to pay the bills subject to county board approval. Motion carried by a roll call vote. It was moved by Barron and seconded by Sure to adjourn at 9:29 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All lists respectively submitted and signed by all members present. I move to adopt.
Motion on the floor for management, Republican second, Mr. Curtis. Just a point of clarity, just so everybody understands on the boiler, that is an engineering design for not the committee will deal with advertising for the bids. It's an engineering firm to design the specs of the whole works. There's no one here. Any other questions?
I have a couple of points that I think just need clarified in this report. That was one of them, and I think we should actually change that wording to say an engineering firm evaluated on site to determine specifications. About the snow removal, perhaps this to be determined, the cost split between the courthouse and the jail. Isn't there, that's kind of open-ended, didn't we?
50-50.
So shouldn't we change that?
And
That's to 50-50, the 50-50 split, and it's minor, but I didn't think I reminded you to look at the maps. I thought you reported you had looked and there were no maps. Yeah.
Any other comments, questions? Clerk call the roll.
Crowe.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yes.
Crumley.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Signott.
Yes.
Watt.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Windent. Yes. Zumwalt.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Anderson. Barron.
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
Hovis.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman and members of the County Board, your committee to whom it deferred tax would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on November 3rd, 2014 at 9:35 a.m. Members present were Schultz, Crumweedy, Schmidt, and Whitlow. Marvin Signott and Donald Wasner were absent. Also present, Treasurer Mindy Kunsaga, County Clerk Lisa Fancher, Supervisor of Assessments Bob Yerkler, Finance Director Anita Speckman, ICPHD Administrator Dean Shippert, Animal Control Administrator Dr. Yusuf, Animal Control Warden Sheikh Cobb, County Board members Donnie Crowe, Gene Hiles, and John Scherr. The meeting was called to order. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Jed Whitlock and seconded by Brad Schmidt to pay the bills subject to county board approval. Motion carried by voice vote. There were no public comments. The department heads gave their monthly reports. Treasurer Mindy Coons-Hagen said a letter from the Department of Revenue was received stating we were overpaid for sales tax. The tax sale held on October 27th went well, and 70 less parcels were sold than last year. County Clerk Lisa Fancher reported that Election Day is November 4th. There have been 962 early voters. The early voting deadline is complete, and the last day of absentee voting is November 3rd. Supervisor of Assessments, Bob Yertler, said the last day to file complaints of the Board of Review was November 7th. Yertler anticipates 2 large appeals, one from Bosch and one from Gilman Optical. He also mentioned that a resolution dividing Iroquois County into 4 quadrennial assessment districts has been created and will be presented for approval at the November County Board meeting. Dr. Youssef gave his report for the month of October. The report reflected an owner's address and phone number as anonymous, unquote, and believes this information should be public information. Troy Crumrady asked for the reasoning behind this. The answer he received was that when calls are made to animal control from 911, the owner's information and the caller's information remain anonymous. Schultz handed out levy worksheets for review. He is currently in conversations with Supervisor of Assessments, Bob Yertler, as to what dollar amount to use for the taxable EAV. They are estimating it at $474,500,000. Schultz also spoke with County Board Chairman Rod Kopus about paying more than $600 in future years towards IMRF. Schultz noted that this year's extension is less than last year. He would like to tentatively plan on these being the final numbers and pass this worksheet in the December meeting. John Scherr stated he was unaware of the change in the Public Health Department levy request decrease from $480,000 to $400,000. ICPHD Administrator Dee Shippert said she was given the understanding that the Health Department would be given 1 year with the $480,000 levy request. Schultz suggested Scherr and Shippert discuss the matter with Kopus, as he would not make the changes without first speaking with Kopus. It was moved by Crumley and seconded by Whitlow to adjourn at 10:10 a.m. Motion carried. All of which is respectfully submitted, signed by all members present, and I move for its adoption.
There's a motion on the floor.
Second.
The resolution to divide Iroquois County into 4 assessment districts, whereas the Illinois compiled statutes provides pursuant to 35 ILCS 200/9-225 for a county to be divided into 4 assessment districts. And whereas the assessment districts shall follow township lines because Iroquois County is organized by township, and whereas the work of assessing the property in the county shall be divided into 4 equal parts, as near as may be, but neither the area nor the number of parcels of property need be equal in the 4 assessment districts. And whereas the assessment districts will be numbered 1 to 4 inclusive, and whereas the general assessment year for the assessment district number 1 shall be 1992, and every 4th year thereafter, assessment district number 2 shall be 1993, and every 4th year thereafter, assessment district number 3 shall be 1994, and every 4th year thereafter, assessment district number 4 shall be 1995 and every 4th year thereafter. And whereas the general assessment shall not include farm property which is assessed under sections 10-110 through 10-140, and whereas the county board may provide by resolution for the assessment of the entire county in the general assessment year provided by law for Iroquois County, and for the dissolution of the assessment district after the first such assessment. Was adopted this Wednesday, meaning today, November 2014, signed by the chairman of the Iroquois County Board.
Any questions?
I see in the minutes that this was presented for approval here, but I don't see any discussion or pros or cons. Could someone explain to me what benefit do the taxpayers derive from this action?
Bob is better versed than that.
Well, because of budgetary reasons, years ago, the state allowed, technically the quadrennials every 4th year, and you're required to publish in the newspapers accordingly, every parcel for that 4th year. And what it did was overly burden the county government for that 1 year to have a very expensive, pretty expensive publication budget. So they allowed to go to split the county into quarters, so you could be and try to even it out as far as parcel count wise, so you can actually budget more effectively and consistently throughout, and they allowed us to do that. We did it 2 years ago by committee and by board approval. Department of Revenue inquired about it and needed a copy of the actual resolution on file, so they have it for their records. So that's all.
So the benefit would be monetary, budgetary.
Even out the budget, as opposed to every 4th year being counted.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Question on the main body of the report. I'd request a change on the first page on the 4th bullet, where it says the report reflected information should be public information. I was talking about a violator, not somebody calling in. There was a violator on that annual report that was kept anonymous. I think that got misunderstood.
So you got to change that. Any other?
The health department levy, did it stay at 400 or did it go back to 480?
There's been discussion, but it's not gone through committee or anything at this point. So the suggestion that I've heard is that it stay at 400.
One of the, for clarity reasons, one of the reasons that to go from the 380, originally we was at 380.
Originally last year.
380.
The request and the levy from the Public Health Department was 316, if I'm not mistaken, at that time. But we decided to make it 480 because the money, the extra money would then stay in the public health line of the county board for a cushion for an emergency situation. We're still, this year, the request for the levy in the Public Health Department budget is in the 360 range. The plan is to levy 400, adding to that cushion the 40,000 or 35, and probably increase that a little bit as years go on, but not incrementally as big as the 480 would be.
First, the 480 was, the thought process was because of switches from multi-health department to the single ones, we was not 100% sure of our costs, how that was going to play out between the 480 and the cash assets that were transferred by PhD. They will roll over fair amount of money. So it's not like this. Any other questions? Clerk call the roll.
Motion for the tax committee under resolution. Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Crumweedy.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Winbent. Dumal.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Barron. Bill.
Yes.
Hovick. Crow.
Yes.
Mr. Crumweedy, help.
Mr. Chairman and members of the County Board, your committee to whom is referred help would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on November 3rd, 2014 at 10:15 a.m. Members present were Crumweedy, Schultz, Schmidt, and Whitlow. Sticknot and Wasserman were absent. Also present, Finance Director Anita Speckman, Treasurer Mindy Kuhn-Hagen, County Clerk Lisa Fancher, Iroquois Public Health Department Administrator Dee Shippert, County Board members Donna Crow and John Shore. The meeting was called to order. There were no public comments. ICPHD Administrator Dee Shippert provided the committee with a summary report of activities for community and school health programs, environmental and senior programs, dated July 1st, 2014 through October 31st, 2014. The next Board of Health meeting will be held November 5th. ICPHD is seeking approval to add their environmental program fee schedule. Shippert said the only change is the closed-loop well permit and the closed-loop well inspection fee. Shippert reported 800 flu shots were ordered and the last 2 available doses have already been given. This year, there were 16 public flu clinics, 8 private flu clinics, and many walk-ins. At this time, Shippert does not anticipate ordering any more flu shots, but will refer individuals to places that still have them available. Shippert discussed that the bat bite incident that was brought to the attention of the County Board last month. Shippert stressed that the Health Department was not notified of the bat bite. The Health Department was notified after the bat tested negative, and then the client was called with the results. Shippert said she and Animal Control Administrator Dr. Youssef reviewed proper protocol on cases such as this. They both agreed that Animal Control will call the Health Department on every animal bite immediately, and the Health Department will also call Animal Control regarding any animal bites. The Health Department will also send out notices to doctors' offices reminding them to send their bite information to the Health Department. Shippert spoke to the committee about what was discussed during the October 21st and October 28th Ebola meetings. Updates will be emailed to those that attended. Shippert also provided the committee with a grant and contracts listing. She said all grants are secure except the $800 TANI grant, which is on hold at the state level. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Schmidt and seconded by Whitlow to pay the claims subject to County Board approval. Motion carried by voice vote. It was moved by Schultz and seconded by Schmidt to adjourn at 10:50 a.m. Motion carried. All of which is respectfully submitted and signed by all members present, less Brett Schmidt. And I move for its adoption.
We have a motion on the floor. We have a second. Ms. Curtis. Any other questions on the health report? Seeing none, clerk call the roll.
Hanson.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Crumweedy.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Watts. Whitlow.
Yes.
Winbent. Dumal.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Anderson. Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Hovick.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes. The IT.
Mr. Chairman and members of the County Board, your committee to whom is referred IT would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on November 3rd, 2014 at 10:55 a.m. Excuse me. Members present were Crumweedy, Bills, and Schultz. Copus was absent. Also present, Finance Director Anita Speckman, Treasurer Mindy Kuhn-Hagen, Supervisor of Assessment Bob Yergler, ICPHD Administrator Dee Shippert, County Board members Donna Crow and John Shore. The meeting was called to order. There were no public comments. Finance Director Anita Speckman discussed the remaining fiscal year 2014 projects. The quotes for Wi-Fi in the courtrooms have been sent to the judges and Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines, as she is paying for the project out of her automation fund. The assessment move consists of moving Debbie Wright from zoning into the assessment office, plus fixing the wiring and adding a line for their new printer/copier. Speckman recommended using the zoning budget to pay this expense. Lastly, there are 8 outdated workstations in the administration building that were budgeted in fiscal year 2014 to be replaced. We received a quote from Airwide to install and configure all 8 workstations for $11,851. It was moved by Schultz and seconded by Bills to approve the area-wide quotes for the fiscal year 2014 projects. Motion carried by a voice vote. Speckman spoke about the printer copier agreements with Proven. We currently pay 9 cents per copy, and Speckman is looking at consolidating the leases and maintenance costs for several offices in order to obtain a lower per copy rate. Speckman will be meeting with Proven regarding this matter on November 5th. Supervisor of Assessments Bob Yerger noted that Bruce Harris and Associates would like to begin installing their software once the new workstations arrive. Yerger was advised to work with Airwide during this process. It was moved by Bill and seconded by Schultz to adjourn 11:20 a.m. Motion carried. All of which is respectfully submitted, signed by all members present, and I move for its adoption.
Motion on the floor, second, Mr. Bill. Any questions on IT? Seeing none, clerk call the roll.
Hiles. Yes. Crumley.
Yes.
Raymond. Schultz.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Watt.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Win-Benz. Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Little.
Yes.
Coben.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes. Mr. Shearer, Sheriff and Public Safety.
Before reading the report, I'd like to also express my appreciation to Mr. Copeland for his service to the county. Thank you, Rod, for doing the right thing. Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee, to whom was referred judicial and public safety, would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the courthouse on November 5th, 2014 at 3 p.m. Members present were Scherer, Curtis, Anderson, Sticknot, and Hiles, while Barons and Susan Win-Benz were absent. Also present, probation supervisor Barb King, Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines, Coroner Bill Cheatham, Sheriff Derek Hagan, State's Attorney Jim Devine, and Carla Waters from the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. There were no public comments. Coroner Bill Cheatham informed the committee that he has been in contact with Lori Yates at Iroquois Memorial Hospital. They discussed the rotation of the hospital's body bags they have on hand. Cheatham said he will be purchasing 50 new body bags with grant funds and give them to the hospital, and in return the hospital will give their 50 body bags to Cheatham. The committee agreed on this usage of grant funds. Sheriff Derek Hagan's monthly report included patrol had 493 calls for service for the month of October. Year-to-date 2014 calls for service 5,141, a 24% increase over 2013. Year-to-date 2013 calls for service 4,157. Booked in 63 prisoners for the month of October, 38 booked in for September. Average daily population in October 14. Year-to-date average daily population 17. Average length of stay for the year 11 days. Year-to-date bookings are 542. Overtime in the jail was 240 hours on the schedule. Part-time hours in the jail 0. Deputy Feller will be released to solo patrol on November 7th. Probation Supervisor Barb King reported the probation software has been updated, and the committee will be seeing a claim for approximately $3,100. The software was purchased using probation fees. Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines distributed her office's monthly report of disbursements and list of claims for the month of October. Transfers of $13,500 to the Historical Society and $25,000 to the general fund were made in October. Hines also noted that she was informed by Finance Director Anita Speckman that the IT budget is over by $7,500. Hines said she will make a transfer from her automation fund to cover the shortfall. Hines signed paperwork for the courtroom Wi-Fi project, which will cost around $4,000. This will also be paid for out of the automation fund. State's Attorney Jim Devine notified the committee that the Hollingsworth case reached a settlement on September 1. The committee reviewed claims. It was moved by Ernie Curtis and seconded by Marvin Sticknott to approve the claims. The roll call vote was taken, motion carried. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Kyle Anderson and seconded by Ernie Curtis to adjourn the meeting at 3:25 p.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All of which is respectfully submitted, signed by all members present, and I move for its adoption.
The motion on the floor, is there a second? Any questions on the judicial report?
That money should be listed as documents and records there also, not Historical Society, right?
The claims payable to the Historical Society.
Okay. Well, whichever way.
Any other questions?
I'd just like to thank Lisa Hines and our other elected officials who have contributed greatly from their automation and other funds generously through the year. No doubt their part has allowed our bottom line to increase, and so I say thank you for your generosity.
Any other questions on the report? Call the roll.
Crumweedy,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Schuler,
Yes.
Sticknott,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Linden, Zumwalt,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Copeland,
Yes.
Crowe,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Mr. Zumwalt, Planning and Zoning.
Mr. Chamberlain, and members of the county board, your committee to refer to planning and zoning with beg leave to submit the following report on matters before them. Your committee met at Administrative Center on November 7th, 2014 at 9 a.m. Members present were Zumwalt, Sticknott, Curtis, Scher, Crumway. Absent were Wasmer, Raymond, and Scott Watts. Also present were Bob Yergler, Debbie Wright from the zoning office, and County Board Chairman Rod Copus. Mr. Zumwalt said the Highway Department is coming to the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting at 9:45 a.m. Mr. Scher made a motion to move the K4 wind farm discussion on the agenda to 9:45 a.m. Mr. Sticknott seconded the motion, motion carried. Mr. Yergler discussed the office report. He said building permit fees are up due to the wind farm building fees, although 3 building permits were issued for new homes. He said construction inspector Bates Brown had a lot of mileage with houses going up in Lake Iroquois and the wind towers. There will be no zoning board of appeal in November. The committee reviewed the remaining subdivision ordinance. Numerous changes were discussed. Sure, we'll make a list of revisions to the subdivision ordinance for next month. Mr. Curtis made a motion to approve the claims. This was seconded by Mr. Crumway. The roll call was taken. It was unanimous to approve the claims. County Engineer Joel Moore said the Highway Committee came to the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting. Joel said that there are several severe issues with the wind farm not complying with the road agreement. He said it is mostly in Kankakee County, but there is some in Iroquois County. The main construction is being done currently in Kankakee County, but he is sure that there will be more problems when more construction is started in Iroquois County. They are even considering hiring outside legal counsel. He said they have contacted the escrow company on how to access the escrow account. He said that he knows 6 building permits have been issued for the farm. He is wondering if
The remaining 35 can be held because the road agreement had not been filed. Mr. Copus thought this could be done as the wind farm is not in compliance. Mr. Moore said that there is nothing stated in the road agreement regarding building permits. Mr. Dribbler said he would have to obtain legal counsel to see if the building permits could be held. Mr. Stickhoff made a motion to withhold the remaining 35 building permits until Mr. Dribbler can obtain legal counsel. Sure, second the motion. Roll call taken. Motion was approved unanimously. Mr. Zuma asked for new business. Bob Dribbler said construction inspector Bates Brown was leaving on vacation for about 3 weeks. He said that if the building permits were issued for the wind farm, there would be no one to check them. Mr. Brown was satisfied when he had inspected the first 6. Ms. Wright and Mr. Brown had stated pictures could be taken and sent to the office. Mr. Zumwalt thought the county should have a backup inspector. He wondered if Mr. Earler could contact Yankee County and see if they would what they would charge for inspecting the towers in Iroquois County also. Mr. Earler said that if the building permits are issued, construction cannot be held up because the county doesn't have an inspector. Mr. Sticknott made a motion to move the K4 revenue to the capital improvement fund. Mr. Sure seconded the motion. Roll call was taken. The motion was approved unanimously. Mr. Sure made the motion to adjourn the meeting. Sure seconded the motion. Motion was approved by voice vote. Meeting is adjourned at 10:35 a.m. All which is respectively submitted and signed by all members of the committee. And I move for its adoption.
There's a motion on the floor. Second. Mr. Curtis. Any questions on
Could the minutes please reflect the amount of the revenue, the K4 revenue moved to the capital improvement fund just for historical purposes?
$205,000. Any other questions on the zoning report? Seeing none, clerk call the roll.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Sticknott.
Yes.
Watt.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Wooden. Yes. Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Anderson. Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Hobart.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Isles.
Yes.
Crumweedy.
Yes.
Mr. Bill, Transportation and Highway.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee from the Department of Transportation and Highways, they will submit the following report on the county board. Your committee met at the Iroquois County Highway Day on November 7, 2014, 9 a.m. Members present, Bill, Alt, Schultz, Isles, Whitlow, and Dr. Kevin Hanson, left absent. Also present, County Engineer Bill Moore, John Hozo, and Concord Township Road Commissioner Scott Storm, and Lovejoy Township Road Commissioner Bob Hicks. The meeting was called to order. County Engineer Bill Moore opened the bids for the 2015 tandem chassis. They were as follows: Central Illinois truck on a 2015 K Walker with $103,958. Lobo Brothers on 2015 Heat was $100,755. And Kozo on a 2016 Mac was $111,204.02. It was moved by Dean Hiles and seconded by Dale Schultz to accept the Lobo Brothers bid for the 2015 Heat. The roll call vote was taken, motion carried. There was no public comment. The financial report should not be reviewed. It was moved by Dean Hiles and seconded by Jed Whitlow. Pay the bills, subject to county board approval. The roll call vote was taken, motion carried. County highway was $144,114. County bridge was $2,094. County motor fuel tax was $81,983. Township motor fuel tax was $210,479. County County Engineer Joel Moore presented a resolution for engineer's salary and expenses for 2015. We represent our paid for motor fuel tax, which is moved by Del Cole, and second by Don Crowe, to adopt the resolution. A roll call vote for statement. Motion carried. Committee discussed the resolution for motor fuel tax general maintenance for 2015 in the amount of $860,000. It was moved by Crowe, second by Hiles, to approve the resolution. The roll call vote is taken. Motion carried. Several more snow plowing agreements were received since last month's committee. Bill said there are a couple townships that have decided not to plow this year. It was moved by Whitlow and seconded by Schultz to accept the township snow plowing agreement. Motion carried by 4 votes. Town Board of Commissioners, Scott Swan, and Bud Board of Commissioners, Bob Gaddis, attended the committee to express their concerns about the Smith County agreement. We'll have a brief discussion as to why the committee would be meeting with the Planning and Zoning Committee regarding the Pilot Hill wind power project. There are some problems with the developer using that renewable energy. The subcontractor is not following the agreement. Most of the problems are safety issues. Most of the like the more permits with LD. So he and no court road commissioner, he was clear, our contact. It was moved by Charles Hall, seconded by Whitwell, to set recess to 111 East Grand Street in Montego at 9:45 a.m. That motion was carried by 4 votes. The committee reconvened jointly at 10 a.m. with the Planning and Zoning Committee at the 101 East Grand Street in Montego. Moore explained to the Planning and Zoning Committee that there were several issues with the Pilot Hill wind farm project. There have been minor improvements, but we are not fully satisfied. Higher and outside legal help has been discussed. We have also contacted the escrow company to see if we can accept the escrow agreement. More asked if he or Splitter could be contacted prior to issuing any more permits to see if they are happy with the road compliance. County Board Chairman, Lot suggested writing them a letter stating that the issues, and if they are stating their issues and if they are not compliant, we will stop issuing building permits. Planning and Zoning Chairman and Zumo agreed with Moore about not issuing permits effectively immediately unless approval by Clear or Moore. Supervisor Assessment Bob River said he would like to speak with Safety Attorney Jim Devine to make sure we can legally withhold the permits from them. From the Planning and Zoning Committee, Marvin Sticknott and John Schur seconded the motion to hold permits unless approved by the County Engineer Joel Moore and no Road Commissioner, Rudy Splitter. The motion was carried by voice vote. It was moved by Crowe and seconded by Hiles to adjourn to 10:25 a.m. That motion was carried. All of which is respectively submitted. And I guess before I ask for approval of this report, I would entertain a motion to address the deficiencies we had with our bid specs on our Dale, you'd like to give that some separate consideration? That handing truck?
Trying to put words in my mouth, right? The paragraph after the listing of the dollars in the opening for the trucks, the two-line paragraph, it was moved by Gene Howe, seconded by Schultz to accept from both brothers because of inconsistencies in the specifications. I would like to set that aside for separate consideration.
Okay, Bill, are you willing to do that? Do you want to consider it today, or do you want to send it back to committee?
No, I'd like to consider it today.
Okay. All right. You got a motion to remove?
I'll second that.
Gene seconds it. Okay, any questions on what we're doing? You're going to vote to remove that. Really, it's one sentence.
Mr. Chairman, could I apply?
Basically because the motion is not written correctly. It's supposed to be written that it we'd accept the Bow Brothers bid after engineering evaluation.
Line item specification.
The original motion was made to accept the bids based on bid spec review.
Bid spec review, that's what I wanted to say.
There's about, I think, about 12 pages each on both of these bids, and I had to make sure to go through, which I did over the weekend, and found some discrepancies. So,
We have a motion to remove it. Need a second? I'm sorry. Got it. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Remove that for separate consideration. Call the roll.
Schultz.
Yes.
Schuer.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Watts.
yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Win-Ben. Yes. Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Anderson. Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Hovind. Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Heil.
Yes.
Crumley.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Okay. Joe.
Move to accept the Central Illinois Trucks bid for 2015 Kenworth at $103,958.
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Schultz to accept Central Illinois Trucks on $3,958. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Dean Heil seconded the motion. Any discussion? Mr. Crumley.
Can we get a quick recap of the differences?
Yeah, I can give you real quick. There was 7 items on the Riddle Brothers items that were out of spec. 3 of them were minimum. One of them that was a major concern was the bending strength rating on the frame. They were underneath the minimum. I did contact the Riddle Brothers. They can provide what we requested and actually exceed what we requested, but it's an upcharge. And the other one was, we had a minimum horsepower rating of 350 horse. They provided a bid of 345. Not a huge difference, but the Kenworth that exceeded 370. So those were the 2 main discrepancies. That and there's no, Peterbilt does not offer what they refer to as an engine snowplow valve system, which changes your air intake when you're plowing snow, so you don't push snow into the engine.
Any further questions?
Oh, what's the deal with Peterbilt then?
Any further questions on Bill's motion and the second to approve 2015 Kenworth for $103,958? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Schuer.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Win-Ben. Yes. Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Hovind.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yeah.
Heil.
Yes.
Crumley.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
On the balance of the report.
I will move to adopt it.
Okay. And a second, Mr. Earl. Mrs. Goodman.
We're about to adopt a resolution so the county engineer's salary is not listed. We already listed the elected official's salary. Should we list the county?
Like the percent of the state recommended, and there was 1 over 2, I believe. I don't have to figure what it is. 102 or 103.
Is that posted on the website, Nina?
What's posted on the website is the budgeted amount, which is $103,000.
I got the number here from the resolution, it's $102,695, which is
by the contract that was,
I know we always list the elected officials.
Any other questions on transportation and highway report?
Can we get Joe Moore to speak a little bit about the problems that's happened up in Oaks Grove?
Sure. Like I said in the zoning committee, we've had most of the issues, the major issues have been in Kansas County. Road maintenance after they've done the upgrades, sign maintenance. We've actually had at least 2 instances that I know of where they parked wind tower components on the roads overnight. One time they did, it was in, one of these were once again in Kankakee. The one time they did contact the road commissioner and had the road closed overnight. The other time, from what I understand, they came out and found the components sitting in the middle of the road with the road closed, which is a direct violation of the road use agreement. Nothing can be stored in public right-of-way that has to do with the wind farm. The off-road, off-route trucks, we have a fining system. Any trucks found off-route, it's a $500 fine. We did not do that with the intention of trying to collect $500 fine. We did that with the intention of trying to keep the trucks on the specific routes that are laid out in the agreement. They've not been following it. I know at least Kankakee County on the county line was replacing a culvert, and they had at least 6 trucks in one day with components. Not components. They were delivering materials to the wind farm or using the County Highway 37 from Chavance, which is not part of the road use agreement. So therefore, we've had several discussions with them. We've told them our concerns. We've had a lot of lip service, in lack of a better term, that yes, we'll correct it, but there's been very little to no correction of most of these items. So therefore, we ask for this as a way to try and get their attention and get them to cooperate.
Since the Friday meeting, have they talked with you at all, or?
I did get a phone call from one of the general contractor. I have not returned his call because I've heard the same lip service from this gentleman before that we're working on it. There's nothing we can do. You know, at this point, we've had enough problems that I'm only the director of development, deal with the developer. We have a project coordinator on site that is hired. They actually pay for the project coordinator that's hired through Kankakee County. All of the violations and all of their concerns are going through him. An email, the first official request to start this whole process was sent today with a compilation of like every violation and concern all the road authorities have.
Any other questions for Joel? I believe Bob talked to Mr. Devine, and he said he had a right to revoke the permits. Yeah. If they're not in compliance.
Absolutely.
All right, any further questions?
we're going to make them get serious about the road use agreement.
All right, let's call the roll on the transportation.
Kipnot.
Yes.
Watt.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Linden. Zumwalt.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Henderson. Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Copeland.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Pyle.
Yes.
Crumweedy.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes. Motion to approve appointments. Mr. Hanson, second.
Second.
Questions? Vote closed. All in favor?
Aye.
Same sign.
Nay.
Chair votes nay. Claims. Mr. Scher. Second on claims. Presented. Mr. Curtis, and the rest is on claims. Clerk will call roll.
Watt.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Linden. Zumwalt. Hall.
Yes.
Anderson. Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Copeland.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hanson. Pyle.
Yes.
Crumweedy.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Kipnot.
Yes.
Old business? New business?
I would just like to thank Scott and Marvin and yourself for the numbers that you guys had last meeting. And I know Roger and I have had some heated discussions in the past, and I just wanted you to know I enjoyed everything that I did. Okay, so wish you all the best.
Well, I look forward to moving along. I've been about 28 years in different public service forms. If you take nothing else away from me ever being here, remember your accountability is to the taxpayer. Remember what you're spending their money on. Be honest and honorable. Change is not easy, but it's essential to move forward. Don't put yourself first. You didn't get this job to come here and serve yourself. You got this job to represent the people best. Amen. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Watts and Mr. Sticknall. Thank you. Thank you. All in favor? Opposed?